So, first of all, can you tell me your full name?
Brenda Murray.
Tell me about what it was like in your early childhood that you can remember from
Well,
1920s.
I was born in Seaforth. I had a happy childhood and I spent all my free time playing out in the street. It was a natural thing to do. There was no danger because there were no motor cars. The only traffic that came down the street was the milk cart. The man with his horse and trap and his canisters of milk.
Yeah.
And we came out of the house with a tall jug with a little lace cloth on top with beads all round,
Yes.
so it wouldn't blow off in the wind. And keep it clean, keep the flies away. So he came every day and I would walk out with a big jug. The other thing I remember about Seaforth when I was a child is the games I used to play. Hopscotch.
Yes.
And swinging on the lamppost. We put the lamppost had two bars like that, and we threw a rope over, and then we would hang on the rope with our hands, and then we would swing round the lamppost. Used to love that. And kick the can. We would get an empty tin and see how far we could kick it, and then the others would run after it, and then we would run. Everybody would chase the can and see how far they could kick it. That was kick the can.
What sort of house did you live in?
A big one with, I suppose, about 9 or 10 rooms. It was 3-storey Victorian house.
Yeah.
It was called the Towers. It had a tower on the top, a square tower with a tiny spire on.
Okay. And did your family own that house?
No, they rented it.
Okay.
People didn't own their houses in those days. Everybody rented their houses. It was the custom. No one thought it was necessary to. We had a cinema, the Palladium Cinema, and that was quite exciting because there were not many cinemas, but Seaforth had 2 cinemas, the Palladium and the Stella. I used to go to the cinema with my older sister, and they were silent films, so the words were on the screen, and I was just learning to read, and I was able to read the words but not fast enough, so the end of the sentence would go off and my sister would have to tell me what it was.
You enjoy going to the cinema? Did you go regularly? Was that something that people did a lot?
Yes. Probably we went every week because the films would change twice in the week. They go for 3 days and then another 3 days, you see. When I was 17, it was the May Blitz of 1941, and the house was bombed. The bombs used to come 6 in a row, and number 6 landed in our garden, so the back of the house was destroyed. The rest was still standing, but the back of the house was destroyed.
Had you gone to a shelter at that stage?
We were in a shelter, but it was inside the house.
Okay.
It was like a big dining table with an iron top, and all round it had an iron cage, all 4 sides. And we had to lift up one side to get into it, and 4 of us used to get in, either to sit or crouch or lie down.
How long would that raid last before you could come out?
A few hours.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
it would. So in the Morrison shelter, we had a torch, a big torch, because you couldn't have the gas light on. We had gas lighting in the house. We didn't have electric light, but we had to switch the lights off during a raid. I was 17 then. I was in the 6th form, going to do my high school certificate. We didn't call it A levels, it was higher school certificate. So I had to do my homework, and in that May Blitz of 1941 we had raids every night for 8 nights. So it was very tiring. I mean, sometimes the raid didn't start until after I'd gone to bed and I had gone to sleep, and my mother or my older sister would come up and wake me up. "You've got to get out of bed, Brenda." I said, "I don't want to go out to bed. I don't care. I want to go to sleep. I don't want to get up," I would say. And they had to drag me out of the bed, put a dressing gown on and go down and crouch under the Morrison shelter.
Yes.
I hated that more than the raid. I mean, you probably think I should have been frightened of the raids, but I don't remember being frightened. I just remember being annoyed that I was losing my sleep, and also that I had to get my homework done.
To prepare for your exams.
Because our school certificate, you see, it was the May Blitz and the exams were in July, so it was very close to doing my A levels.
So your school was continuing through that period of time as normal?
Yes, it was, because my school was in Crosby, so it was beyond the air raid zone. So no bombs were expected in Crosby, but the odd one did drop there. But a lot dropped in Seaforth because we were very close to Gladstone Dock.
The docks, yeah.
And when the raid had finished, we would go upstairs and climb on a chair, open the skylight and look out, and we would see fires all the way along Seaforth Road, Stanley Road, Scotland Road. The warehouses would be on fire, you see.
Presumably there must have been houses in the area that were very badly damaged and people who had nowhere to live.
Yes.
What was that like? I mean, what was the community like at that stage?
The children were evacuated. I was not evacuated because I went to school in Crosby. Evacuated from a school, you see. And at 17 I was at the grammar school, and so I wasn't evacuated.
So what school did you go to?
Seafield.
And that's not there anymore, is it?
Oh, of course it is.
Oh, it is. What's it called now?
Sacred Heart.
Sacred
School.
Heart. I know Sacred Heart. Yes.
Yes. But it was Seafield Convent Grammar School.
Oh. Tell me about school then. What was school like?
Lunchtime, we used to take sandwiches. We had a dining hall. In the building itself was red brick. It still is, and it's a beautiful building. But the dining hall was a big wooden hut, separate from the school, and we would walk across to it, you see, and we sat at tables and had our sandwiches, and we could have a drink of milk or tea.
Did you walk to school?
No, I got the bus. Older brother went on the tram because the tram used to run from Seaforth to the George Hotel until 1925.
Okay.
And that was his first year at St Mary's College. So he went on the tram. But after that, the trams were finished and he went on the bus.